Generational wealth. What is it? Generational wealth refers to assets, resources, and financial stability passed from one generation to the next. It includes property, investments, lands, savings, businesses, and other valuable possessions such as jewelry or even heirlooms. It is not just about having money today, but taking the steps to create lasting financial foundation that benefits you, your retirement, but most importantly, your family, your children, your grandchildren, for generations to come. Why is generational wealth important?
Provides stability during economic downturns.
Life is unexpected. We need to take the steps now to make sure that when we lose a job, when the government freezes, we can still take care of our family. Opportunities. It opens doors to education, entrepreneurship, and investments. Entrepreneurship, owning a business, and investing in yourself should not be things that you should be afraid of. Those are not scary words. A little discipline, a little sacrifice can get you in the right path.
Helps break cycles of poverty and financial hardship.
Build a family legacy. Preserve your culture, your personal values, sharing them with your children, with your family, with your community.
Investments such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and retirement accounts.
Let's not be afraid to educate ourselves about finances, investing. Those are not scary words. Statistic. According to various studies, families with generational wealth tend to have better access to healthcare, education, and economic opportunities. Who doesn't want economic opportunities? Who doesn't want to have a higher education? Common ways to build generational wealth.
Buying a property that appreciates over time
is one of the best investments you can do. When you're purchasing your first home, yes, it's nice to have the house with the multi-levels, the amenities, but sometimes that's not in the budget. Secure a home. Buy your first little starter home with the small bedrooms and the tiny kitchen, but have it appreciate in value. 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years later, sell it, taking the equity and buy the larger property. Or you can retain it as an investment, as a rental that you can pass on to your kids as a rental portfolio. There are options for you. Business ownership, building or investing in businesses. Don't be afraid to open that business, that dream. Save. Put money in savings and insurance. There's different types of insurance. There's different savings accounts. Talk to your financial advisor and discuss the different types of savings accounts, retirement accounts that you can put in place for your family. Emergency funds. When you have a little tiny bit of discipline, have some funds in hand when that emergency happens, when the car breaks down, when your son accidentally breaks a window, you don't have to tap into a credit card. You have savings to take care of. Or when we have that economic downturn and you have to use savings to pay the mortgage, put food on the table. A little discipline goes a long way. Life insurance. There's different life insurance policies. Which one is best for you? It depends on your health, your family members, and the needs that your family has.
Investing in higher education for greater earning potential.
And mind you, you do not have to go to a 4-year college. There are a ton of tutorials on YouTube that can teach you a skill, can prepare you when you decide to go on a 2-year college, a 4-year college. There are community centers where you can go take classes. My gosh, talk to your neighbor. They may have a skill that they can teach you and put you in the right path. There's also internships that you can consider, volunteer work that can help you weed out what doesn't work for you, but can also help you build your skills. There's a lot of opportunities for you to educate yourself without spending the money. Should you want a formal education with a master's degree, a PhD, there's different sources that you can tap in to get that education without having too much debt. There are various grants at the local level as well as the international level. So tap into those, talk to companies to see if any of them will sponsor you and pay some of your education goals. Strategies for building generational wealth.
Start with small steps today. That's all you got to do.
That's the key. The earlier you start, the better it is. The power of compounded interest works best over time. If you start saving $25 a month when your child is born, and that child continues to save $25 a month until they're 65 years old, at an average of 7%, they will have $400,000 saved up by the time they're 65. $25 a month. That's 2 fast food meals. That's possible.
Learning about investing, saving, and money management.
Again, don't be scared about about managing or about the terms. Managing money doesn't mean that you cannot have a cup of coffee outside of your home. It means that you may have to get the small cup with the simple ingredients, or it means that you may have to go to a thrift store instead of the department store to reach that goal. Nothing wrong with that. Create a will and trust. Ensure that assets get transferred smoothly from you to your children and later on to your grandchildren. When you set up a will and trust, you give the county specific instructions of what is to happen with your assets, with your money, with your insurance, with your property. By setting up a trust, you save your family a boatload of money in time plus hardship going to the county in their probate process. Set up your will and your trust. Diversify your assets. You know that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket? Well, reduce risk by spreading your investment. A little bit in real estate, a little bit in the stock, a little bit in mutual funds, a little bit in your retirement, a little bit of cash, a little bit in gold. There's options galore. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Teach future generations. Empower your family members with financial literacy. Teach your children to put a little bit of money into their piggy bank, to plan, to save for that bike they want to get, for the roller skates they want, or if they want to go to a theme park, they start saving. Match their savings. Teach them that education literacy so they know the value of that penny. Challenges building generational wealth.
Economic instability, high levels of debt.
Lack of financial literacy. Fear is probably the number one reason we do not grow financially. We either leave it for later, we figure that somebody else is going to figure out. Nobody's going to have the best in mind for you unless you're willing to educate yourself. Lifestyle inflation. Inflation happens. We can't get out of that one. Okay. There'll be war. We can't get out of that one. There will be trade wars. We can't get out of that one. But we can control what we do with our dollars and how we invest them so we can protect ourselves. Be patient. Wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. See? Real life examples. I'm not going to talk to you about the Waltons or the Rockefellers. I'm going to talk to you about my mom. When my mother came to the United States from El Salvador in the 70s, she was a young lady with 6th grade level education from a third world nation. She did know how to make furniture. My mom could strip a couch and build it from nothing. She knew how to do flower arrangements, and she also knew interior designing. To take care of my brother and I, my mom worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs. She worked cleaning toilets, cleaning offices, and she would collect aluminum cans for us to make ends meet. It took my mom roughly 5 years of a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to start her first little changarro, her little shop in this shack of a place. From there, she started building furniture. We'll go to thrift stores, buy old furniture, refurnish it, and resell it. Little by little, she grew her business until she was part of a network of housewares where they did furniture. She also did interior designing and occasionally did flower arrangements. When my mom passed away, she owned 3 properties, including land. She had her business for about 30 years, and she passed those assets on to my brother and me. I learned from her business management, so now I own multiple businesses. And my goal is that I'm going to teach my children how to own businesses, how to invest in themselves, how to invest in real estate, and how to pass that generational wealth to their future kids. Hint, hint, I do want grandchildren. Conclusion: building generational wealth is about creating a legacy that lasts beyond a lifetime. It requires intentionality, discipline, education, and yes, sacrifice. By taking proactive steps now, remember $25 a month when your baby is born can help ensure prosperous future for you, for your family. When you retire, when they retire, and they pass it on to your progeny. Luisa Sipo, Remax Executives.